Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are continuing our Sincerely Yours wall hanging, and I'm cutting strips. I think I might have messed up a cut. If I did, it's a learning experience. So I have been subcutting some strips. I needed, said cut 5 at 1.5 width of fabric, which I have done. And then it says to subcut those to subcut 3 of those strips to 8 3/4. So I have already cut a couple. I think it says 2 strips left. Yes, cut 2 strips left. So here is 2 strips, and I'm going to cut the selvage off of those, and please God. Stack these up. So 8 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it all the way over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 3/4. Make sure I'm on my line here. And hopefully these will lay right on top of the other ones. Yes, they do. Thank God. Okay, and get these guys evened up here. Line you back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 3/4. Okay, counted it twice, praying it's right. And stack those up on these, and that's going to give me a little bit left. Hopefully I did not count wrong and mess that up. So this is take my remaining 2 strips, and we're going to count, subcut those. We're going to do 4 at 20 1/2. And I'm going to have to move my machine just a little bit so I can see my 20 here. Stack up my strips here. Just going to cut my selvage off, and I'm going to go from 1 to 20 1/2. Please God, let this be correct. I do have more fabric. If I screw it up, that should be correct. Just smoothing it out. Oops, come on now, Shannon. I'm getting nervous. So that is 4 strips at 20 1/2. Okay, so there's those. Okay, so now what we do with those is we're going to put these between our hearts. And they have a deep wrinkle, I'm just going to hit it with iron. I'm going to try to mix up the patterns a little bit here. So this to this, and then another one out here. Give me my paper here. All right, let me grab my paper. Cut 4 at 3 inches, stitch on her. So layout, sashing, and inner border is shown in picture of the finished quilt. It's hard. So it's going to go like this, and then one like this, one like this. Yes, that's what I'm guessing. All right, and one out here. Okay, let me start piecing together and see what we can come up. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are still working on and hopefully finishing up our heart wall hanging. Now, I believe at the end, because this is a different day, I'm off work today. Today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. And so it's kind of appropriate that we're finishing up our Valentine's Day wall hanging. I had added some little patchyworks to my borders. I ended up not liking those. I have already sandwiched my quilt. I just did that. Guys, there's videos all over YouTube of how to sandwich a quilt. I just used a little bit of tack glue for fabric to sandwich mine together. So it's just very lightly put together. But she is sandwiched and she's upside down, but that's okay. I did end up changing those borders. So I put them to a solid instead of kind of patchy. I ended up not liking it. Still have that fabric. I can use it for something else. But today I'm going to quilt this top. And I'm just going to do some stitch in the ditch. I'm going to turn my my thread speed as low as it will go. Fold this up a little bit so there's not so much fabric. Move some of these scissors and everything else. I'll scoot you back and try to lower you guys down a little bit with this tripod. This tripod is not one of those bendy ones. It is just a metal. It's metal. So it'll slide down a little bit. And I'm just going to start, I think, in the center. And I don't know exactly how I want to quilt it, is the thing. I have decorative stitches. The back is purple and my top and bobbin thread are white. Let me look. I know there's not much thread in the bobbin I have in there, and I've already wound another bobbin, so it's ready to go. I think we will just kind of start, and I'm going to turn this up a little bit. And I'm just going to try to stay in the center of the sashing. And I have my speed turned down really low, so I can adjust. And speaking of, my hubby gave me some gloves for this. He gave me some gloves because we were having the discussion about gloves. And I was like, yeah, I need a pair of gloves. And now I don't know what I did with those said gloves. Of course. Of course. I'll look for them here in a second. Because I'm just doing straight lines and we're going so slow, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to do this for a while. And you guys don't need to see me just sit here and just steady this fabric. So let's get this quilted and then we will figure out what we want to do for the binding and I'll bring you guys back. So I'm just quilting the hearts. I've kind of gone through the sashing and now I'm just kind of quilting. Nope, I think I want one more stitch down on that around my hearts. And I'll just take, yep, there we go. Needle down and give it a turn. I'm glad this is not a big quilt. Lord have mercy. Found my gloves, but I'm only using one. So my aunt just called. I won't know what I was doing. She should know what I was doing. I said sewing. And she said, you want to go get something to eat for Valentine's Day? I said, well, sure. So I'm going to sew until it's time to get ready. And then we're going to go get some lunch with my wonderful aunt and uncle. I would like to have this done by then. I got a couple hours, so maybe we might. So all I'm doing is quilting around this heart, and I'm going just on the inside of the heart, and I'm using the side of my foot as a guide, trying to keep my spacing even. I like seeing the stitching. I know a lot of people like to stitch in the ditch. I like seeing the stitching. I like seeing the quilting more. So I try to do it where you can kind of see it. But it's up to you. You know, it's your quilt. You do what you want to do. So that's all I'm doing right now is I'm stitching around all these hearts. I think I've gone through all the sashing and the border. Just straight stitch. Back to the point. I'll take a back stitch. And we're going to go, oops, I'm bumping you guys around with my fabric, to the next heart. And I start down here at the bottom. See if I can line up that point. I'm getting pretty good at that part anyway. And take a stitch, back stitch one, just to lock that seam in. And here we go. So that's all I'm doing right now, guys. Nothing crazy exciting. Just quilting my hearts. And yes, I have my sewing machine turned down really low, because I do not want to mess up my stitches. In this you can correct really easy when you've got it turned down slow. I have a button that slides back and forth right here. And I also have a knob up here for my foot pedal. So I can turn it down kind of like both ways. Because you can turn down the pressure of your foot pedal. So you know, I use the foot pedal. I do have a button right here. I don't have to use the foot pedal. But I like using my foot pedal. So I have both turned down. That one come in a little bit more than the other ones, but it's okay. It's your quilt. It's okay. That's the thing about being handmade. It's going to have little differences. It's going to have little variations. It's going to not be absolutely perfect because it's handmade. So I'm just going around. I'm about to get to the point, top point of that heart. So now we're going to turn it back this way. I think I have two more to go. Three more. How many more do I have to go? Two more to go. Then all I have to do is cut off this binding or the batting, and I'm going to use the backing, I think, for my binding. And I used that multicolor purple because I knew it was big enough for the back of this. So I think I'm just going to pull the back forward and use, nope, go back down where I had you. There we go. That was one stitch too many. Constantly smoothing. Guys, it's like a little over a month and we'll be going on our cruise. That, if I do videos, that will be on my other channel. I'm back down to the corner, so I'm going to take like 2 little stitches on the back stitch up and cut my thread. That's what I'm doing. So yes, I have 2 more hearts here. Just to show you, I'm just stitching, you can't see it on white, right inside of the heart. That's all I'm doing. Easy peasy. So 2 more, and then I'm going to get this guy binded, and it's done. Yay. Okay, so what I have done is quilted all my sashing down the middle of my sashing. I've quilted down the middle of my border, and I've quilted around all the hearts. I have not quilted the center of the heart. I may still do that. Trimmed the batting, and I have ironed the backing to the front. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and see if I can pull you guys down a little bit more. I think that's as far out as that tripod will go. And I'm going to fold this guy over. It's been a while since I've done a backing as a binding, so I'm going to have to remember what to do. But basically, I've just cut it to, I think it was like 1 1/4 inch. I folded that, ironed it, and we're just going to fold that over the top and sew it down. And I learned how to move my needle. I want to start about in the middle of the bottom, I think. And I'm going to give it a little back stitch. And then all you have to do is sew straight till you get to the corner. And that's easier said than done sometimes. Once again, I'm using my foot as a guide. That looks much better than my quilt. Like I said, that was the first time I had done, oops, got off a little bit right there because I was looking at you guys. Not too bad, not too bad. First time I'd ever done binding, and this is, I'm using the backing as binding. So right here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to open up this fold. And now try to remember how I did my other quilt where I used the backing as the binding. I don't remember how I did that. I really don't. Now one thing, I'm going to trim this excess right here off. Okay, it seems like you folded this under. Folded. Oh, I don't remember, guys. I don't remember, and I'm going to have to figure it out. I remember. That's just going to be a lot of fabric right there. So that's what I said. I'm going to trim some of this excess right here in the corner off at angle. So basically, you fold it down even with your binding. I'm going to fold this over like I had it, and then you're going to fold it over again, and that is so thick. It is so thick. But that is how you do it. I remembered. Okay. All right. I'm going to back that up a little bit. Turn it. And there's videos, tons of videos on how to use your backing as binding. Any little strings I see, I'm going to snip off. These are cuticle, I think these are cuticle scissors. These are like the best because they're curved. Can you guys see that? They're curved. For snipping strings, because it's going away from the fabric, and hopefully you're not catching your fabric. So any little strings from where I quilted, or just they're kind of strays and sticking up, I've been snipping. But that is how to do that miter corner. I'll have to show you that like up close one day, but it took me a minute to remember. It took me a minute to remember as well. So put this down, next side. And I'm just going to go all the way around my quilt. And this guy is almost done. So I'm using the side of my foot as a guide, and I'm staying kind of in the middle of this little side of the foot. And I have my needle moved to the left. So I'm going to finish this up and I'll show you the end result. All right, we're down to the last little bit there. That's the last corner. Please do not have a bubble. I don't think it did. Alright guys, that's it. Let me turn you up. Let me raise you up. Get you straight here. Okay. I still have some strings to snip. No big deal. But there it is. There's strings on the back that need to snip, but again, no big deal. We're just snip strings. Snip all the little extra strings that are kind of straying around. That's it. That is the Sincerely Yours heart quilt. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to iron back over the border a little bit just to make it nice and smooth, which I think it looks great. Let me show you a good corner. This one's not bad, minus the string in the way. So corners are pretty easy. I just had to remember which way to go with them. I snipped some of that excess fabric out of that corner before I fold. And yeah, this folder's not, this corner's not as great, but it's a corner, so I'm happy with it for my first pattern and actual a project that I just didn't throw together some fabric. I'm very, very happy with it. Yay. And I don't know where I'm going to put it, but there it is, guys. There is the Sincerely Yours quilt done. One project done. Oh my gosh. And there's the backing. All right, as always, I know this has been a long one. I'll try to figure out how to shorten these down, and they're not quite so long once I get the hang of it. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. And I don't know what the next project's going to be. It might be the 3-yard quilt that I have. The 3 yards of the Bonnie and Camille fabric. I don't know yet, but I'm happy to have this one done. All right, guys, I will see you. I'm cleaning up my mess on the next one, and it is an Annie's fabric haul. So be sure you're subscribed and you don't miss any videos, because there is a giveaway coming up. Don't know when, but there is a giveaway coming up.